Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner with Dr. Kalind Bakshi and yours truly. Today, we're going to tackle an interesting topic, something that I know has benefited me immensely. And Dr. Bakshi was one of the first persons to advocate this. And it's the power of journaling and how it can really help you in various aspects of life and achievement and so on and so forth. So, Dr. Bakshi, if you could just share a little bit about that and some tips on how to journal effectively, that'd be great.
Sure, Maulik. It's interesting that nowadays we use the word journal, but it originated from the word diary. People used to write diaries before. And the diary was basically a record that people made. And there were all kinds of reasons for doing that. And it could be done at the end of the day or beginning of the day. Either way, there were two different reasons for doing it. And the diaries were kept because of recording of experiences, recording of whatever they saw, recording of even scientific, data that they're going to do, something that observation power was there or whatever. And in the diary and doodling, all these things were very common. Even the artists, if you look at the artists that are doing it, they doodle a lot of times before they actually get into the actual form or anything like that. Same thing with science. So this, putting it down on a piece of paper or a diary or a journal is a long tradition of millenniums, actually. And all the recorded thought process and everything has been existent for a while. So what are we doing here to say that the journaling or diary is helpful to us? Well, for a couple of reasons. One is that whatever is a thought process, let's go from the thinking process. Thought process has been developed. You put it down on paper. You may want to refine the thought process. You may want to, change the words, etc. So you have a recorded information that came out from your own thought process or thinking or whatever you're doing. Learning, for example. If I learned something from the book, I write it down. It's an interesting way to remember it also. So that's one from a thinking standpoint. The second way people used it was the emotions and experiences. And the life experiences were recorded, but typically at the end of the day, you write down what happened, what was good, what was, something that you learned from. And what you would do more or differently or etc. etc. So it's like expression revisiting life. And like Socrates always says, unexamined life is not worth living. And so this is a tool. Basically, journaling or diary is a tool that is very useful for a number of reasons, thought analysis, thought putting down, emotions, and etc. So there's the main reasons why journaling is so effective.
No, that's great. I mean, I think for me, it's also a place to just vent. It's a place for me to, note things down that I know nobody's going to come back and tell me how wrong I am or how I shouldn't feel a certain way and so on and so forth. So it's a way to almost for me, cleanse myself of some of the emotions that may be in the moment rather than dumping it on somebody else or something like that. And again, being a person that's not exactly, loud with my emotions, this is a great way for me to kind of find that outlet in order to do that. And the other thing I know is, there's a lot of ideas or there are a lot of thoughts that come throughout the day or whatnot. It's a great way at the end of the night to just put them down on paper. And I just highlight it. I have a little yellow marker that highlights the page where some unique thing, a unique thought or a way of doing something comes in mind. And maybe the next day or at the end of the week, I revisit that. And if it still makes sense, and then maybe there's a way to look at that and apply some of the thoughts that are related to that concept or way of doing things or a new process, whether it's personal or professional, comes into play. And the last point that I will say is it's a way to just articulate some of the things that we all can be grateful for. I know one of the things that I do every night is I write down 3 things that that made me happy today and 3 things that I'm grateful for today. And it's something simple I've been doing for years. Uh, Many times it's something simple as a great meal, pav bhaji or pizza or whatever the case may be. It could be something that I saw on TV that would be there, but just a way to remind myself that life's okay, life's pretty good, and I use the journal as a place to express that on a nightly basis. So
So journaling, what you're saying is fantastic, because the journaling can be divided into a number of endpoints. One is a ready reckoner, as a memory, flip. We want to make sure that you remember things, etc. So you write that down. Another one is a new thought process, thought analysis, and exact circumstances under which you got those thoughts and unique approaches may not come back again, but
sure.
they were important enough. So thinking thought journal is one. Emotion journal is another one, or experience journal or emotional journal is another way of doing it. And and again, the whole people who want, for example, they are performers, they have to also write down certain things. People refer to always, ticker tapes is another thing that people want to refer something written, and so that you're not forgetting certain things. So it's like a constant awareness. Journaling absolutely increases awareness. And one of the things that we always talk about now, I'm just going to make a point here, and that is that the mind has a space of its own. And while the mind can gather so much of data, there can be limitations. And what happens is, and again, reproduction of the same data or the same emotions may not be feasible. So when you put it down on paper, like a journal, it creates more space for the mind to do other things. Even though all the stuff that you already went through is now on paper. So journaling can really increase the capacity of the mind in a number of ways. And so from Einstein onward, I mean, everybody has kept journal. It's not new. It's something that only you once tried out and see how it works for you. It can be working in a different ways. Different uses are there. So I think creative people, like I mentioned, the arts, the poets, they have to revise what they're going to say, something differently. So yeah, there are multiple uses of journal, and it's a highly advocated tool, especially for anybody who wants to, continue examining life and going forward with whatever they want to go forward with.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I think those are great points. One little tip, get a nice notebook, get a nice pen that you actually enjoy holding in your hand and writing, and a book that you actually feel like, a notebook that you actually feel like opening and writing in it. That's something I know my sister does a great job. Is she gets really creative, and she always has some cool journaling diaries and notebooks that she uses. So leverage that, because that will make you feel more in tune, and you have a greater desire to actually fill those pages with thoughts and memories and whatever that you feel like doing, the various uses that Dr. Bakshi has mentioned.
Yeah. Nowadays, isn't it interesting? Nowadays, I do it on iPhone also. I mean, it's just a matter of writing it down, and still have a storage, electronic age now. So it's all very, very helpful to do. So thank you. These are very good points.
Yeah, there are a number of programs available. Microsoft has one, and a couple others where you can even include pictures, which you can also do in a hard copy journal, but you can do that electronically as well. So check it out. We just wanted to put this out there because I know Dr. Bakshi uses this, as he mentioned. I've used it, and I know many people in my family who were wonderful human beings and successful in their own right leverage this tool. So hope you use it, and share your comments on how that helped, and any tips related to that, and that'd be wonderful. So with that, that's it for today. See you soon.